Welcome to Painted Haint. I'm your host, Adri Hayes, and we are talking about one of my favorite scary stories, my new favorite scary stories. And it's a short story, so it's not quite a quickie. It's like 26 pages, but this is Stephen King's The Raft. So The Raft is what happens when, I'm not gonna say white people, but college students kind of, let's just get into it. You know what? No. It's what happens when you are drunk and high and you decide to go and do something a little reckless. And then there's also a metaphor for like it being the end of summer and the end of life, but we ain't talking about that. We just here for the scares because it is Summerween going on Halloween season. So let's get into it. So The Raft follows 4 college students from a fictional university called Four Lakes University, and their names are Randy, Deke, Laverne, and Rachel. It's late October, and since it's unseasonably warm, they decide to go swim at this lake. After I think they had been drinking and smoking, they were like, hey, it's still warm, let's go swim. Which, to be fair, living in the South, yeah, I could see that happening. But this is like up north. I think this might be Maine, because you know Stephen King does a lot of stuff in Maine. But it's like unseasonably warm, and it's almost like they're being tempted to go to this lake, so they do. So they get out to the lake, and while they're there, so when they pull up on the little beach on the side there, they see this raft anchored out in the middle of the water. And it's just like a simple wooden raft. And they immediately are like, let's swim to it. So they do. They strip down into their, like, off their clothes, and they do have on, like, you know, undergarments. But they strip down, they go out there, they swim out there, and they get to this raft. And this is when ish hits the fan. So once they get to the raft and climb up on it, they start to notice while they're sitting there this like amorphous blob. It's described as an oil slick or a giant mole on the lake, which is gross. And it has the oil slick quality of having that, you know, that like shimmering quality, but the shimmering tends to mesmerize those on the raft, and this is when it really takes off, right? So okay, wait, hold up, I forgot this part. So not only is it like shimmering and swirling and stuff, but it seems to be intelligent. Like it's an intelligent being or an alien or something like that. And like I said, it has these colors swirling in it. And one by one, this thing starts to devour the friends. And I'm going to spoil it for y'all because this story been out for like 8 million years. So it starts to like slowly dissolve. And when I say dissolve, it's gross. Like, you know, this Stephen King, so it's gonna be disgusting. And it's actually creepy. Not to the point where you're like, ugh, you know, but like you start to feel it. You know, you start to like really feel what these characters are going through. Because I would describe it as like so what I would describe the story as is like a bottle movie. Because it is actually a film, but they say that the short story is more impactful, as it usually is. But they're on this raft. And they're on this raft being attacked by this thing the whole day and into the night. And you got to think about it. Remember, it's late October, so you know what's going on, or late fall, so you know what's gonna happen. The temperature gonna drop. So now they out there shivering, trying to like get this thing to leave them alone. And but I think by that point some of the friends have succumbed to the thing that's swimming around the raft. And it also made me wonder, like, did they not pull that back in because, like, you know, because, like, that thing was attacking people? Is that what happened? We're not sure. But, like I said, one by one, this thing literally dissolves these kids. Like, they be, like, I think there's one part in the story where, like, they describe it as like a foaming red, which is where the person was left. It's gross. Like, it's heinous, but the writing is excellent. So let me tell you why this is a great summerween Halloween story, especially here in the South. Now, the reason I love this is because, first of all, our falls are very much like that, where it will be like 80 million degrees and then like negative 30 in the evening. What I also like is, of course, the writing. The description's very good. There's one detail that I loved, and it stuck to my brain, right? So one of the characters, he's like the last remaining guy, right? And he's sitting on the raft freaking out about this like amorphous blob evil oil slick type situation, and he can see the car that they drove up there to the lake in, and he can also see his jeans, and he keeps focusing on the inside of his jeans. So what I mean by that is, like, okay, you know when you take your jeans off and they're inside out and you can see like the white, that like the lining basically of the pant pocket, that's what he's focusing on. And it was nerve-wracking for me, because I'm like, damn, if he could just get off this raft and like swim to shore, he would be kind of fine. And then, like, it's also going through like the mental state of this particular character, because I think he's the main character whom we're seeing this situation unfold through. So it's like a stream of conscience at times. So you know how, like, when you're scared or panicked, maybe not, but like sometimes, like for me, when I'm scared or panicked or something, or like anxious, songs tend to like get stuck, like lyrics of songs just like come up and get stuck in my head. And this is what happens with him. So it's like, if you're like that, you start to like really empathize and sympathize with these characters. Also, there's a bit of a love triangle, and I mean that plays into it a little bit, but nah, this story is really good. I had seen it in my Skeleton Crew, my copy of Skeleton Crew that I have, which is one of Stephen King's anthologies. It's an anthology. It's like a series of short stories he has. And I had seen it in there, and I was like, huh. And then, like, how I came to read it was I saw this guy on YouTube talking about the movie, and I was like, oh, it's a short story, let me see. So, okay, y'all, stupid moment for me, slow moment. I actually went and bought a new copy of Skeleton Crew, and I had it on my bookshelf. So now I have 2 copies of Skeleton Crew. But it's fine, because like that one that I had is from college, and that baby is worn down. So it's just hanging out in book retirement, and I've got the new one over on my desk over here, or on my like bedside table. But yeah, so definitely read The Raft, and if you've read it, tell me what you think. What you know, what did you like about it? Or if you didn't like it, why don't you like it? Because everybody has their own opinion. And I will see you all on the next Painted Haint. So we're going to be talking about Tim on the next episode. A movie called Tim. And this is the Summerween Drive-In. And let me tell you something. It will have you side-eyeing your Alexas, your Siris, your Groks, your Geminis. It'll have you side-eyeing everybody. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on TikTok, which is at HaintBlueRee. You can also check me out on Instagram at I'm the Right One 8929, which is like my main Instagram, or my channel specific spooky-ish Instagram, paint_it haint 21. All right, bye.